Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I've streamed anything other than to talk about weather updates. So by way of actually playing something, this is becoming an anomaly, but we'll see how it goes. Happy Mother's Day to any mothers out there. And what do we have? We have Warhammer Quest. Just a brief quick background. I started with Hero Quest, which was a blast, but then I don't know what drew me to it, maybe all the videos praising it, stumbled upon Warhammer Quest. Similar to Hero Quest, but I feel like Warhammer Quest is the more somber, serious, quieter, older brother, more contemplative, more cerebral. That's not to say that it takes itself too seriously, but it's definitely a more, how do I put this? They're two different creatures, Hero Quest and Warhammer Quest. So I've taken a Warhammer Quest, and whereas with Hero Quest you have a single map that remains the same configuration-wise all the time, Warhammer Quest lets you build, kind of design the dungeon as you go. We'll see how that works. The intention here is to do a straight up beginning. I don't know if we'll be able to play through to the end. I'm going to hazard a guess that says no. But you guys will see what it takes to start the thing and get ready, prepare, etc. And then we'll start diving right into it. This is the game table these days. You can only see, and the last video shows a lot more, but you can see a snippet of my collection. I've started accumulating over the past just under 2 years, when I had talked about how this channel was going to take a turn in another direction. For how long, who knows, but I needed to do something different. This is just that, something different. So a lot of it, well, all of it is Games Workshop stuff, but we have Middle-earth strategy battle game stuff on either side. In the center we have some old world Age of Sigmar stuff, just because I like a lot of the models that I can use, all of this in fact, that I can use in Warhammer Quest, which is now why I started accumulating it, but it works well for that fact. So what do we have here? How do we start? What's going on? Hopefully the microphone cooperates. I've run 3 separate playback tests. The gain was turned up way too high, so that was why it was blowing out and redlining and crackling if the noise got too loud or abrupt. I think I've fixed that issue. The neighbors right across the wall have family over, so you may hear a bunch of kids running up and down the length of the house, which is always fun. Kids will be kids, right? All right, so we're literally starting from the beginning. I have where? And I can't reach to pauses, so feel free to fast forward through boring parts. This is going to be one of those boring parts where I try and get my bearings on where I'm at, what I need to do here at the board sections. All of this, I don't own the Warhammer Quest game, by the way. That thing costs a pretty penny on secondhand on eBay, etc., so I can't afford it. But everything else I've found online and printed out, so yeah. All right, I get that. What about starting the game? Warrior cards, starting the game. There we go. Choosing a warrior, done all this. Starting equipment. Interestingly, I'll just gloss over this. The leader, you have a leader in your party, and he carries a lantern, which the game calls the most important piece of equipment in the game, as it lights the way for others, and therefore leads the other warriors into the depths of the dungeon, etc. So I thought that was interesting. And this is probably assumed that not one person would ever play this, although one can. The designer's intention was for 2 or more people, I think. Alright, so let's start. So, power tokens. We'll start with the wizard. Before the game begins, the wizard player must select 3 spells, and I was doing a lot of these things. This will be my 3rd actual playthrough, and every time I play through, I noticed something I was doing wrong, one of which I will correct now, and that is how to draw a spell. So, split the spell cards into 3 types: attack spells, defense spells, and healing spells. And then I think we're going to randomly draw 1 card from each of these stacks. And cross our fingers, hope and pray that we get the resurrection spell from healing, because, again, having run through this thing the last couple times, I cannot seem to do it and keep all 4 warriors alive. And that frustrates me. One thing I'll attribute that to is, well, a couple of things. Again, not fully understanding how to play such that I'm not doing things that could be helpful, but I'm learning those things. And when you run into monsters in this thing, it is just sheer chaos. And don't talk about balance or fairness. I had already been, the last run through, I had already been down 1 warrior, left with 3. And when I did finally make it to the objective room, I had to face orcs and goblins for a total of 18. 18 of these dudes to complete the objective, and I didn't even finish. I wasn't even going to try. So here's our spells. We have Pit of Despair for our attack spell. I don't know what that is. Never used it. Iron Skin for our defense. Please be a resurrection spell. It is not. It is Lifebringer. Well, that's pretty good, though. It's kind of a healing. Well, they're all healing from the healing spell deck. But that could be good. So there's our 3 spells for the wizard, chosen randomly. I like that. All these cards as well were printed off and cut out by hand. Then we have power tokens, and that's how the wizard uses his spells. So how many power tokens do we get? Once he's taken spells, the wizard player rolls 1d6 and takes that number of power tokens. Hopefully we get a high number. That's acceptable, 5. And I've been using these plastic looking crystal shard things, so there's 3, 4, 5, right? Think of these as your permanent power crystals, power tokens. You use these, you don't get them back. But each turn during the game, you get a temporary amount of spells, which is power tokens, which is rolled for. Power tokens represent an inner magical force that the wizard can draw upon during the adventure. The power tokens the wizard has, the more that he has, the more certain he can be of casting a spell. Okay, now let's get to the dungeon. How do we do this? This is also rather involved. Sort out the board sections into 3 piles. Dungeon rooms. Really? Why? Interesting. Okay, so I'm not sure I actually need to do that. It's telling me to separate all these dungeon cards into 3 different piles. And then pull out the objective rooms. I don't know why I need to begin to take the dungeon deck and remove the 5 cards that represent the objective rooms. So now it's just immediately find them. Alright, start the adventure. Take the 5 objective room playing cards and shuffle them, which is what I've been doing while I've been reading. Pick one at random and put the rest back in the box. I don't have a box to put them back in. What do? Cool. I had that the last go round, and that allows me to use my platform again over here. This is the tomb chamber. That is the objective room I pulled. What's next? Find the section of the adventure book that contains the adventures for your objective room. That is the what? The tomb chamber. So we go to this playbook and find, what am I looking for? The tomb chamber. We're going to roll 1d6 again. We get a 1, which is Exorcism. We'll come back to this if I remember. Well, we'll just read it now. Deep below Middenheim, there is a maze of tunnels inhabited by all manner of evil creatures. No one ventures into this dark realm, and the entrances in the city have been sealed for centuries. Now, however, an evil presence has been detected by the priests of Ulrich, the holy leaders of the city. The source of this malign power is growing and resides somewhere in the ancient catacombs below. The priests suspect it may be the spirit of a long-dead necromancer returned to wreak havoc once again on the inhabitants of Middenheim. Like moths to a candle, other malign and twisted creatures are being drawn to the tunnels below Middenheim by this evil presence. Carrying holy artifacts from the temples of the city, the warriors must ascend into the catacombs to exorcise the evil before its power grows too strong to contain. Special rules. Each warrior has been given a holy symbol of Ulrich to take into the dungeon below Middenheim. These artifacts must be placed on the top of the necromancer's tomb to lay him to rest. And then there's rules for the tomb chamber when we get there. We are not there. Okay. Now we shuffle the dungeon cards and deal out. See, again, I don't know why it wanted me to put these in 3 different piles. I'm going to go ahead and do my patented cross because I have these in these hard plastic holders. You can't really just shuffle and flip through the fingers with them. So we do the cross method. What's next? Deal out 6 face down. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 face down. What next? Now take your chosen objective room card and shuffle it in with a 6. So the final 7 cards will contain somewhere in there the objective room. We don't know where, but if we know it's somewhere in the final 7 cards of the deck. It could be the first one, it could be the last one. So there's that. Then what? Finally, deal a further 6 dungeon cards on top of the 7. So we're definitely going to not find it until we flip 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is our dungeon deck. That is what we will draw from to construct our dungeon. Yes? Yes. So it says you should now have 13 cards, which we do, and your objective lies somewhere among the final 7, which I've already explained. Okay. We need to roll for our, before we start drawing from this, we need to roll for our strengths, our wounds, as it were, hit points, they call it wounds. Let's roll first for the barbarian, and he is going to have a 1d6 plus 9. Awesome. That is the max. That is, trust me, that's needed. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. To represent hit points, I have these like red see-through acrylic cubes. So let me get this off the screen. What the hell even is that? Go away. They're actually from Pandemic. I bought extra sets online. Wow, there it is again. Microsoft Edge is taking over my computer. Trying. So what was that? 15? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15. 15. That's awesome. We need that. That is the max he could have gotten. And I'm using Aragorn for our barbarian. Next we have the elf. High roll again, please. 1d6. That's terrible. Plus 7. That is a mere 8. How it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The reason that sucks primarily is because I tend to have myself in the game represented by the elf. Whatever. That brings us to the dwarf. 1d6 plus 8. That's a decent roll. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. But I will say that if you're going to have somebody roll low on their hit points, the elf, you may want to, because he can stand back away from the fray and fire arrows. And then finally the wizard, you're looking at what? What are you looking at? 1d6 plus 6. What? And whatever. 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've just been messing with dungeon stuff off and on for a while now. A while being now since I've been doing it. And it's, you know, I have to have things a certain way, look a certain way, feel a certain way. And of all the different things I've done and tried, this is what I've arrived at here. This method, what you're going to see, is most pleasing to my mentality. I don't know if that makes sense. With the red cubes, the way you're going to see these are all dungeon tiles that we're going to use. Okay, so there you are. Turn over the top card of the dungeon deck. This is the entrance. What do we have? Ooh, big surprise, corridor. Corridor is a 2x6 room, or not room, corridor, 2x6. Rooms are always 4x4. I find that interesting. In the game I designed, the rooms can be all different sizes, chosen randomly. Alright, and I will state that this could be considered as tedious, but this is one of the most enjoyable things for me is literally constructing this corridor now. So we'll start down here, kind of right in front of me, and we're going to snake our way up. Primarily due to lack of table space and being able to continue to reach what I'm doing here. So feel free to fast forward while I construct this corridor. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it also gives, the card will give you an option as to where now there's the entrance doors, which I still use these to represent, and leave it just offset a bit. And I have these Mines of Moria from Games Workshop doors that I've been ordering sets of. It comes on a sprue with a bunch of stuff. You get columns, etc. But I've been slowly accumulating them because, again, my mind's eye finds these the most pleasing to use. So there's our entrance there, and we're going to go this way and come back that way and go back up. Now you get the idea. So the second door, if it's another passageway, as they call it, we can continue straight. If it's not, we won't have the width this way to construct a T-section or a room. So we'll branch up, off and up that way. Is how that will work. Okay. There's our first, and I use these to kind of keep track of what's what. There's our first passageway. Wouldn't that be funny if I wasn't recording? I just thought of that. Yeah, I'm recording. 20 minutes in and didn't hit start. You know, I've done stranger things. Okay, so let's start with our power phase, and that means we will roll. This is one of the most important parts of the game, is the power phase. You roll this die. It has two meanings. One, of course. You see? I roll a 1. When you roll a 1, that means you have to draw something from the event deck. Now you're going to do this every turn. Every turn consists of, well, you'll see. Right off the bat, we've got problems. 1 is also bad because that means I only get 1 temporary power token for the wizard on top of the, what did I have? 3, 4, 5 permanent ones. So I don't have a lot of magic to use this round. So right off the bat, we've got issues. Not good, bad. So we'll start with, I'm doing it like this, and we'll go with him here. We'll put the dwarf up front, and we'll put the wizard in back. And I wonder if I can pause this and bring the camera closer so you can actually see this. And then, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Is that better? Definitely that's better, right? Wow, are we even in focus? It's hard to say. Well, there we are. All right, let's pull from the event deck and see what the hell's going on, because, as mentioned, we've got an issue here. Everything good? Everything good. Okay. I'm going to lazily shuffle it a little bit because I don't think I did from the last time I played. Now, they're not all monsters in here. There could be other things, traps, etc. But we're probably going to end up with running into at least 6 monsters. Mark my words. All right, let's pull. Yep, what'd I say? So 2d6 snotlings. So we could have as little as 2 or as many as 12. That variation drives me nuts because fighting 12 of these guys right off of the bat is, again, I understand it's not balanced, but 8, see, 8. And what the hell is a snotling? I don't even know, but for purposes of our needs, those will be represented by, let's use these Goblin Town goblins. Say, Jason, what the hell is a Goblin Town goblin? Well, in the Lord of the Rings movies, in The Hobbit, the goblins are these guys that they run into. The Moria goblins are a little different. Those are the ones that are in Lord of the Rings movies. Wow, can we fit all these on here? Yep. 8 of those dudes. They do not have ranged weapons. So you see, this is what I have to deal with right off the bat at the beginning of the game. This is ridiculous. 8 of these goblin dudes, all right, or as they call them, snotlings. Now, very easy to kill. They only have 1 hit point, or again, as they call them, wounds, but I'm not calling it that. I'm saying hit point. And so they're weak, they suck, but, you know, 1,000 little stabs can kill an elephant, right? And I have my own initiative system, but this card does state that these dudes make an immediate attack as soon as they are placed on the board. Draw a warrior counter and places what? For each goblin above 1 in contact with a warrior, add +1 to their hit roll and increase their strength by 1. Huh. So I guess they have that encourages swarming, a swarming type of thing. I don't know. All right, so here we go. This guy here is going to attack Aragorn, who has a weapon skill of 3, and this matters because what you need to roll to attack is based on your target or your defender's weapon skill. So they're going to need a 5 or greater to hit. However, remember, he has 1 next to him, so I'm saying that's in contact. Yeah, so 5 or greater plus 1. Well, he rolled a 4 and got a 5, so that's he got a hit. So what does he get? He's going to roll 1d6 and add his strength, which again is plus 1. So 4, 5, 6. However, we subtract Aragorn's toughness of 3 from 6, so he loses 3. You see, how am I supposed to make it through this damn thing? I'm already down 3 hit points with this guy. This makes me batty. I'm going to flip him over to represent having already went. Next, we've got this guy. He's going to need, same thing, 5 plus 1, and he gets a 6. Of course he does. What does he roll for? A 5, 6, 7. Jesus. This is going horribly. That's dwarf. His toughness is 4, so he's going to lose 3. So there's that. And I need to keep track of what they lose because you can get these back in various ways. So there's that. Okay. Now we can... There's no point in letting these guys do anything because they can't reach anybody. So they will just hang back and wait their turn for one of these guys to die. But I'm going to pull initiative. Again, this is this is the only thing I do house rule wise for this game, but just because I like it so much, is this initiative system for combat. 8, 16, and I'll show you what all this means in a second. Oh, the dwarf is going to go first. He pulled the number 1 shit. That's awesome. That's the first good thing that's happened so far. Looks like Aragorn will go relatively quickly after that. And so far, the elf will go after that. So 3 of my guys are going to go before now. Alright, here's the order, the turn order. Dwarf, Goblin, Aragorn, Elf, Goblin, Wizard. Alright, so let's do this dwarf. The Dwarfman Dwarf. These goblins have a weapon skill of 1, so they should be easy to hit. Yes, they are easy to hit. To hit it, we need a 2 or better. There we go. So if I even roll a 1. And they're going to be easy to kill, right? So there's a 2, which still should be enough. Maybe 2 plus his strength is 5. They have a toughness of 1. Yeah, he's dead. 2. So since that is now vacant, we can pull this for him. Aragorn's next. Same thing. Their weapon skill is still 1. You think I would remember that? And he's going to need a 2 or better to hit, which he gets. What do we get wound-wise? He's done. I can tell you right now he's done. Put these back in there. And pull for this guy. Don't give me that. Okay, good. Next. That was 2, 1, 2, 3. Next is this guy. He is number 6. He moves up. now that there's space there, I'm going to have to do all these guys now, I think. 13, 7, 9, 15. Okay. What's going on? This guy was next, right? 6. And he's gonna attack the dwarf. The dwarf is weapon skill of 4. He's gonna need to roll. Wow, really? He's gonna need to roll a 6? But I get that +1. He got nothing. He's done. Is there a 7? Yes. He can't move. Yeah, he can. He can go right here. And is there an 8? Yes. This is the elf. He's going to try and fire an arrow at this guy. And to do that, he needs a 4 or better. Damn it. He missed it. Rolled a 3. 8, 9. Who's next? 9. This guy is next. He can go here. But that's the best he can do. 13. 15 can go nowhere. 16 is the wizard. What spells does he have? Now, he can also strike, but he's not very strong in that respect. A healing spell is not going to help us. I'm not going to waste anything on defense. Pit of Despair costs 5. Oh my god, all these cost 5. Really? All the spells we pulled cost 5 power tokens to use. We're not going to be using a lot of spells, I don't think, because especially this turn, I only have 6. So, I'm going to pass with him. I could have him jump ahead of Aragorn, but then he's surrounded by 3 goblins, and I'm not doing that. So this guy's going to move up and attack. What is it, 4? He's attacking Aragorn with a weapon skill of... Let's go 3. It should be 5 or better, but he gets that +1. A 4, he doesn't get it. And there's the end of that turn. So there's an exploration phase, but that would mean we need to be adjacent to this unopened door to explore further. But A, we're not there, and B, we have these monsters in the way that we have to kill first. So it goes back to the power phase. Now here's where it gets awful. We have to roll again, right? But if we roll a 1, more monsters. Thank God. And we did a little better on our power tokens with 3 now. So we could technically use 1, but I still don't feel comfortable wasting 2 of my permanent 5 power tokens on these stupid goblins. So let's flip these back over. We got 2 of them killed, so there's 6 left. These guys are more just a nuisance than anything else. I had considered redistributing these initiative tokens each turn, but that's too time consuming. So I leave them as is. In the future, I may come up with another house rule to jump ahead initiative-wise. Meaning you would have to give something up, or it would have to cost something for you to do so, but I haven't really thought that out enough. Alright, so we're going to start with the dwarf again, who needs a 2+ to hit this guy, and yeah, he rolled a 2, so barely. And then a 2, strength of 3 is 5, toughness of 1, so he's dead. Oh, I need to be keeping track of who's killing what, because you can trade that in for gold. I'm going to say the dwarf had 2 and the barbarian had 1. Put this back. 6. Alright, that was the dwarf. Who's number 2? Nobody. That brings us to number 3, which is Aragorn. Weapon skill of 1. He has also a 2 or better. Barely. I mean, man, the rolls are very low. And 5 plus what? This strength is 4, so 9. Yeah, this guy's going. What's next? 7. This guy is next. He's going to move up and attack. So, some of these guys, all the warriors are painted. Majority of the monsters that I use for this game are painted, but not all of them. And that is definitely intentional, not lazy. I like having the theme of the overall gray plastic. Call me crazy, but it's, for me, mentally it ties the dungeon and everything. I don't know. I'm weird. I understand. Dwarf's weapon skill is 4. He's going to need a 6, but he gets that +1. He gets nothing. That's what he gets. So maybe not as bad as it started out. Can the elf hit anything with his bow? Yes. He did. And what is his bow strength? Ballistic skill. 1d6 plus 3 wounds. Oh yeah, he's got 5. So elf gets a kill. These guys are worth 10 gold each when you cash them in, so to speak. Don't ask me how that works. 9. He's next. He's moving up. And he's going to need a weapon skill 3. 5 or better with that +1. He does get it. And he gets a 2, 3, 4. Toughness of 3. He did knock another hit point off of Aragorn. No, he doesn't. Because he's the only one there. He doesn't have another guy there. So it's 1, 2, 3. With a toughness. Yeah, he does not. That +1 was only because there was another guy here and there isn't. That brings us to 15. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now there is. And he will attack the dwarf. Well, he wasn't next anyway. Whatever. Both of these are next. Guys are next anyway, and then the wizard, so it works out. Dwarf. Skill of 4. He's going to need 6, right? Even with that +1, he only gets a 5. This guy can only move to about right there. He's done. And the wizard's gonna, I know this, I'm not playing this very strategically, but the wizard's gonna pass again. I'm not wasting those permanent power tokens on these idiots. I'm gonna save them for something more intense. On down the road. We have, of our 8 goblins, 3 left. That's the end of the turn again, so a new power phase. If we roll a 1, we're screwed. We do not. And the wizard might be doing some stuff. We just rolled 6 temporary power tokens, so we don't have to use any permanent. Let's start with the dwarf. Who needs a 2+. And he got it. How many does he get? 4, 5, 6, 7. He's gone. Dwarf racking up the kills. Dwarf is done. Aragorn, can you fade that? Aragorn will try to fade that. He's going to need a 2+. He gets it. What does he get? 4, 5. So 8. Yeah, that guy's done. And I just remembered something else I'm not doing. Anybody that knows this game knows what a death blow is and what that means. I keep forgetting to do that. Now, if I kill in one attack a dude, I can automatically try and kill another adjacent dude. I have not been doing that. Elf, can you finish this guy off? He cannot. Thank you, Elf. That brings us to him. Attacking the dwarf with weapon skill of 4. Yep, he's going to need a 6. He can't do it. And that does bring us to the wizard. I'm going to see if I can... What is Pit of Despair? I can't use that. It creates a 2x2 square pit area, and if I do that, that creates an impassable location. But what I will do, I don't remember if, I'm going to pause this and check a rule. I'll be back. Having checked that rule, I will state that someday I won't live in the city and I will rejoice. It's just constant noise. I was checking to see if we could move through, a warrior could move through another warrior, and you can as long as you don't end your move on the said warrior. I'm going to let the wizard wail a little bit on this guy. See if he can get a kill. So, weapon skill 1. He's going to need 50-50. He's going to need a 3 or better. And he gets it. Actually, it's not 50-50. It's better odds. It doesn't matter. He got it. So we'll roll to see if he kills the thing. Maybe, maybe not. That's a 2. What's his strength? 5. Yes, he does. So wizard gets a kill. There's 8 goblins destroyed. God's sakes. Let's put this here for now. And still no exploration phase because we have nobody adjacent to the door. That brings us to the power phase again. And guess what, guys? I keep saying this, but if we roll a 1, we're right back where we were. We rolled a 6, so we're good to go there. Now we can move 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put him in the lead. 1, 2. And the elf and the wizard bringing up the rear. That brings us to, now we can do the exploration phase. The door is open. What's next? Draw a card. We draw our top card. Another passageway. Again, not surprising. I will construct that and then readjust the camera again. Yeah, readjust the camera. Another reason I want to finish one of these scenarios with nobody dying is so that I can do the in-between scenario stuff, i.e., for lack of a better way of describing it, going to town and going to shop and getting supplies, etc. But I don't allow myself that if one of the 4 dies before we get to the end, and I've again yet to do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I suppose I could, and then just say that we've picked up a new guy along the way, but if you want to do the campaign thing, I think they should all continue to stay alive. So a set of doors here, and we were going to readjust the camera, right? Let me pause it, and I'm back. That was a 45-minute pause. No, it wasn't. It was 45 seconds. Alright, back to the power phase again. Bad things can happen. Bad things do not happen. We're at 3 power strength. And now it is the... Now we can move, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And no exploration phase because we're not there yet. Roll again. No 1. That pleases. Don't mind 1s, I just don't want them early and I don't want them consecutively. So back to this. Back to this. Now we can do the exploration phase. Open this. And draw another card. Oh, what joy. Another passageway. Now we're going to branch off up this way this time. So yeah, let's go like this. Joy of all joys. As you can imagine, the predominant dungeon card in this thing is the passageways or corridors or hallways, what have you, however you like to call them. I have come upon a set of stipulations for how to decorate these dungeons. I've got a boatload of columns I've accumulated from that Games Workshop Moria set. I use columns when there's rooms. So that's how that works. So you don't see any columns because we don't have any rooms. However, we could put this decorative dragon statue right here. Why not, eh? And that brings us to our next power phase. Where are we at with, we're still good with the camera, passageway, keep track of these as I've already said I like to do. Okay, here we go. Do we roll a 1 this time? We probably will. Not. I have yet to have a scenario where I don't roll a bunch of 1s. I don't know what that's like. None rolled here, so we continue on. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll put us there. Oh, I also forgot to, when you kill a thing, you get a thing. So I'll have to go back and see what we got. That is that. We're not at the... I'm going to put the doors, the exit doors here this time. Here? No, let's do it here. Let's put the exit... Oh, jeez. Marge. Put these here. I'm going to run out of doors. I need about 4 more doors, which means 4 more sets. We're getting there. We're getting there. So that was our new power phase, which means we got to roll again, right? Nothing for... Oh yeah, I needed to see what we got for killing monsters. And exploration phase, yes, if I get another passageway. It is not, it's a corner, and that works out perfectly, because guess what? We could use a corner. Let's construct a corner, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, So when I play this off camera, I will do 1 or 2 turns and then step away for a while and come back. Another one. A single scenario can go on for days. That's just how I do things. Not good or bad. It's just how I do it. So this would be like that. Yes. And, you know, I don't want it to do that. I'm gonna go like this. The short end there. And the long end here. I'm confusing myself. Cool, I keep bumping those. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's the way. A corner, huh? No, I can't do it that way. Ratatouille. It has to be this way. Trust me, it has to be this way. It has to be like that. Okay. So there's our first non-passageway, which is again a corner with 2 doors here. Or 1 door rather, 2 tiles, 1 door. And we're already almost out of doors. Alright, check camera angle. Corner here, like this. Passageway there. And camera angle still goodish. I don't need to pause. I can just do this. Okay. Do we roll 1? That's what everybody wants to know. And I still have to check. I'm going to pause and check if I got anything for those kills thing-wise, treasure-wise. Okay, a couple of things here. One is I've yet again forgotten that the dwarf, when he fights, rolls 2d6 and picks the higher of the 2 and does a thing if there's doubles. So that whole combat round, I forgot to do that. And we do pull a treasure card for defeating all those monsters. So let's do that now, and we get, drum roll, stop drum roll, magic potion. This small glass bottle bears strange inscriptions in some long-forgotten magical language. When your warrior drinks the magic potion, roll 1d6 to determine what it does, and I love that. Don't tell us what it does before we take it. We don't know what it is. We wouldn't know what it is if we were in the dungeon, right? So there's 6 possibilities. 2 of them are healing. 1 is just a weird, your warrior's flesh becomes rainbow striped. There's another healing, and another healing. So it's basically a healing potion, or we turn rainbow. The Aragorn's going to keep this next to him. We also started, and I failed to mention this, we also started the adventure with some things. The wizard began the adventure with the Hand of Death scroll, the lantern, the healing potion, and the rope. Now, if you remember, we have to perform an exorcism on this dude in the tomb chamber, and it said we each get holy artifacts. I'm assuming that is just, for all intents and purposes, imaginary. We are assumed to have these artifacts that will be used when we become adjacent to this tomb. So I don't know that there are actual physical things that we're supposed to have to represent that. So anyway, to recap, Aragorn has a lantern, the elf has a healing potion, dwarf has a rope, and wizard has Hand of Death scroll. So there's those things. All right. We are at another power phase. Do we roll a 1? We do not. but we will move through here. Or that looks weird, but that's how it goes. Why would that be like that? It would not. It would be like that. And let's make it like that. That would be like that. And that would have to be like that. Okay. No exploration phase. Another power phase. Monsters. Nope. Make this a 4. Another movement phase. Put this here. I thought we hit a room at some point. Do we not? Certainly we do. Exploration phase, yes. Boom, open these doors. And start branching out. What did we draw there? We drew, yeah, I called it. There's a room. This is the Circle of Power room, and this is, as all rooms are, a 4x4 doodad. We'll see what happens in this room. There's an event card that is always drawn when you enter a room, so it will probably be monsters, but not necessarily so. I'll construct this, resolve the room, and then call it for tonight, because I think we're already at an hour, and I understand most of it was set up, but I don't have so much of this in me. I get a little more steam when I'm playing on camera when it's live and people are hanging out and joining in, but it makes me want to keep going. But yeah, so. And I know some of you out there are like, oh my God, I could not stand having to set up the dungeon the way he's doing it. I would make print out tiles that could be used so I don't have to do each individual thing. And again, to reiterate, this is about one of the most enjoyable things about doing this for me. I understand it's not for everybody, but for me it is the hummingbird's beard. Okay, there's that. So what's up with this room? Let's take a look and fix the camera. I don't think we need to pause to do that. We're just going to swing right here. What's up with this room? Where were we? Exploration phase, power phase. Let's read this. What is this? Shards of flickering unnatural green light pierce the darkness from within this room. The circle of power will always trigger an event card unless the adventure book states otherwise. It did not state otherwise, so we draw an event card. You want to draw? I'll let you guys draw. Oh yeah, you don't have hands. This is more the same dudes that I'm serious. You know what? I'm drawing a different one. No. I refuse. It was the same card we had drawn, 2d6 Snotlings. Okay, fine. We're stuck fighting something. I didn't want to fight the same crap again. This is 2d6 giant rats. I don't have anything to represent giant rats. I've got wolves I suppose I could use. What about wolves? We can use orcs. Giant rat. Well, these are kind of radish looking. Let's use these guys. I wonder if they'll fit on the square. Sure they will. 1, 2. And it just so happens that yours truly painted up. These are actually fell wargs. The wolves that were ridden by orcs in the Lord of the Rings. We'll use these. Alright, where are we at? That was Power Warriors phase where we move. Did we do the power phase? We did, and we drew, was it 4? Yeah. So 4 power, so I'm making sure I know what power tokens we had available. I'm going to spread them out like that. And here's what happens. This is how it says to place the monsters when they're encountered. So that's what I'm doing. And don't blame me if it's not right. Because it is right. Well, that's an interesting fight, right? 6 of those dudes. Well, that's not true because it's 2 dice 6 and we didn't roll to see how many we get. Well, I'm capping it at 6, I think. I won't have to at 6. Don't believe me? Look at that roll. So 6 it is. Fair enough. It was fated to be that way. They're not very powerful, these dudes, with, again, only 1 wound. A little bit better weapon skill, but that's it. What are the special rules for these guys, hey? Really? When it attacks, you roll 2 dice to see how many wounds it causes and add its strength of 2 to the score. That's bad for us. Wow, and once a giant rat has attacked your warrior, roll 1d6. On a 3+, the giant rat's suicidal frenzied attack has opened it up to your warrior's attacks and he kills it automatically. Really? So once the giant rat has attacked your warrior, so after the attack, roll 1d6. If I roll 3+, his attack was so crazed and non-defended, I guess. He's killed. Interesting. So that's, I guess that does kind of balance the 2d6 strength of attack. All right. This does not say that the, we're going to call them wolves, attack first. So we distribute our initiative tokens. And I will stand up for this. This is going to be about as long as the last combat was, maybe a little longer. And then I'm going to be ending the stream. But let's resolve this. Plus we'll have a treasure, assuming we survive, that we get for defeating these guys and for clearing the room. No, for the fact that we're in a room, not a passageway or a corner. What would be cool is if I could teach my cat to play these things, because she just sits and hangs out and does nothing. I know she's bored, and it would benefit me greatly and teach my cat to be a dungeon master, or be like Zargon for Hero Quest. Time consuming? Yes. Worth it? Yes. The best way to do these is like this. Wizard's going to go first, which is a good thing because he's got to do right on him there. And finally, Elf. Elf will have to swing a sword. He's too close to use his bow, which is fine because there's better chance of hitting up close. But remember, he doesn't have a lot of hit points, so I'd say if anybody's going to die this combat round, it's going to be the elf this sequence. Alright, wizards first. Let's try and do that thing. What thing, you ask? The Pit of Despair. I will have to use one of my permanent power tokens to do so, but I'm doing it. Let's see, pick any 2 square by, so we're going to pick these 4 squares here. It's a 2x2 area. And roll 1d6 for each model standing in the 4. Alright, so let's roll for This guy gets a 1. Score of 1 or 2, it falls into the pit. Cool, he's gone. Next one, so we need a 1 or a 2. Nope. And the next one, nope. Well, we got 1, okay? And I just saw my first Formosa termite. We get those really bad here in New Orleans this time of year, and at night they just swarm all over the street lights, and they're attracted to the lights in your house, and they come in, and it sucks. I just saw one, so I got all these lights burning in here, and these old houses are got all kinds of nooks and crannies where these guys can get in. So, all right, that was the Pit of Despair. Got rid of one of them anyway, and actually, no, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Well, we're down to 5 of these guys. Who's next? 3 warriors next. That being Aragorn. So what? So there should be a pit there now? That's what the spell was. And it says they scramble out of the way. Well, what might I use to represent? You've got to be inventive, right? To represent that 4 square. Wow, that was actually tactically beneficial as well, because that means they have to funnel that way. So that's awesome. I'm using these trapdoors to represent those being four pit areas now, right? Yeah, the pit is permanent. No model may enter that square. So that's great. What is the weapon skill of one of these? It is a 2, and we've got Aragorn up next. Well, he's going to need a 3+ to do this. Oh my God, he rolls a 2. What in the hell? Don't get it. I really don't understand. It's a 3. 6. Elf is next. And each of these warriors have a special ability, right? The wizard can cast spells. The barbarian can go berserk. The elf can dodge out of the way, possibly, and the dwarf gets the 2d6 attack roll. Alright, so back to the elf. And they have a weapon strength of 2. He's going to need 3+. Come on, hit this dude. Yes, hits him with a 6. How about another 6? 5 will work. We could potentially have on our hands another dead wolf. And what is his strength roll? Oh my God, he rolled a 1. That's terrible. Terrible. What's your strength, dude? That means 4. Oh, but they only have a toughness of 3, wounds of 1. He just got him. He just got him. And we got to remember our kills. Wizard had a kill. Elf had a kill. That's where we're at. That's not where we're at. Who had the kill, the wizard or the elf? Well, it's the elf, right? 3. No. It was the elf that had that kill. So he's going to go here. And now, then there were 4, right? Okay, so I think I messed up the turn order by taking the wrong guy out. It'll be okay. Let's roll for that wolf. What is going to attack anyway? Here we go. Here's our first wolf attack. He's got to hit first. So opponent's weapon skill, he's attacking Aragorn. He has a weapon skill of 3. He's going to need a 4+. So the bad stuff doesn't happen unless he gets a hit. He did not get the hit. Awesome. Dodged a bullet. 7. He's actually next. He's going to move up. Attack the elf. Elf has a weapon skill of 4. He will need a 4 or better to hit. Cool. He also missed. So we're getting lucky here, guys. And these guys will not have room to attack anybody, so what they will do is simply move up and await their turn, as already mentioned. And that means the dwarf is stuck. Him and the... well, you can move and fight at the same time, so we will assume that they did that, will have moved at the end of their turns, which would allow that. Alright. The wizard will. No, he's not going to do another spell because that means using almost all, if not all, of his permanent power tokens. I don't want to do that, so no more wizard spell. What can he do? Well, he can't do anything. And that is because he can't reach. But the other 3 can. And let's hope they do something. Alright, here's round 2. We need to roll. First of all, we need to remember Death Blow. Don't think I've remembered that once, other than when I don't need to remember it. Let's conduct a new roll for our power phase. Thank God we didn't roll 1, but we did roll an awful 2. Well, we weren't going to use 1 anyway, right? Power token. But luckily no more, because we got enough. We got our hands full. Back to Wizard is first, but he can't reach anything. Okay, start with Aragorn. What could you do, brother? He's got... he needs a 3 or better. That's all you need. Can you do that? Yes. Can you roll a 6 again? No, but a 4 should be enough. Well, another strength of 4 is an 8. And I forgot to roll that suicidal thing. He's gone, bottom line. I forgot to roll that suicidal thing for the wolf attacking. I will not forget, however, the death blow this time. Killed 1. Let's look up death blow and see how that works. Where is, what page? Death blow's in the combat section. And I'm still not remembering. No, we're good. Death blow. Death blow. Death blow. Hopeless warrior will hit a monster so hard that he kills it with a single blow. If this happens, he can carry on his attack on the next monster, getting a chance to kill him too. So if there's another adjacent monster after killing him with 1 swing, you can roll a hit as normal. This doesn't work if you're firing arrows. That's good to know. And only warriors get this ability. So we're going to roll again since he got that kill and see if he can get another kill on that guy, which is what, 3+? Yeah. Get another 3+, dude. Nope. He can't do it. He refuses. Who's next? 6, Elf. Can you help me out here, Elf? Weapon skill 2, Elf was going to need a 3+. Come on, dude. Yes. And give me a high roll. I want dead wolves here. Awesome. 5. Strength. 6, 7, 8. Toughness 2. He's dead. Then there were 2, and this wolf is going to get to attack here. He's going to come right down the memory lane there and attack. So remember, he needs to hit for the bad stuff to happen. But for him to hit, he is going to need a... Really? That's it? I thought he needed better than that. 4 plus? Yeah, 4 plus. Oh, we did not get a hit. And we get to roll that thing. 3 plus? He did. On 3 plus, the giant rat suicidal frenzied attack has opened it up to your warrior's attacks, and he kills it automatically. So he did get a kill, only because of the wolf's reckless attack. That brings us to dwarf. He's actually going to have to move up to take care of this this last wolf. Let's roll properly for Mr. Dwarf this time, okay? He is going to need... Why is that? 3 plus. But we roll 2 dice. We take the higher. He got it. And if we had doubles, we would have done something. Did I do that, right? No, it's for wounds. That doubles rolls only for wounds, so let's roll it again. 3 plus. Oh my god, of course he misses. Finally the wolf attacks. He'll need a 4 or greater. And why not? Why wouldn't he get that? Well, bad things happen. Roll 2 dice to see how many wounds it causes and add its strength to the score. It has a strength of 2. This is bad. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Don't tell me I'm dead, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 1 hit point left. So that's all it took to drain me that fast. Let's not let that happen again, eh? Wizard isn't going to be able to do anything. And it could be worse, right? It could always be worse. I guess I'm lucky that that's all that's happened. I don't know. Let's move him up. Oh, we got to roll our power phase. There we go, power phase. If I roll a 1, so help me. I don't want a 1, thank you. But we did get 5. Ooh! 5 power tokens, so we could do another pit. Well, we don't need the pit thing now for 1 guy. Alright, Aragorn, what you got? You got 3 plus, and you can do this. You got it. Can you actually finish him off? That's 3. That's 7. Yep, he's gone. So we're going to have to do some healing stuff on our dwarf who's almost dead. But we did clear the room. You know what a better way to represent... If I hit this guy again, so why don't we just pull these off? That would look better. I like the trap doors, but those are for traps. Too many options is a good thing. Trust me, it's a good thing. Those trap doors are to represent traps. So let's just do this. How hard was that? Why could I not think of that and do that? And that's what it would look like. Wizard did that. Pretty cool, huh? That was all on camera. We're still recording? Yes, okay. Alright, so what's our treasure? Do we get... I have to look up another rule. Do we get a treasure card for killing all the monsters and a treasure card for clearing the room? How does that work? I'll be back. Okay, I was trying to work the system to get more treasure cards. You only get 1 card for killing the monsters in that room, so let's pull another one. And I get time freezing rain. Very cool. Very cool indeed. As you put it on, the ring freezes like ice and bursts into a cold blue flame, yet still feels comfortable to wear. The time freeze ring may be used at any time, giving the warriors an additional warrior's phase straight away. And I'll have to research just exactly, that's a little vague for me, just exactly how that works. Barbarian had the magic potion, right? I'm going to give this to the elf. The time freezing ring goes to the elf. And so, to recap, we made it 1, 2, 3 corridors, a corner, had one encounter. Then we made it to our first room. Rooms always have, it may not be monsters, but there will always be an event of some sort. It just so happened to be monsters again. How many cards is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then one more card, which we know will not be the objective room. And then after that, each card after that could potentially be our objective room. We just don't know which of the final 7. Our dwarf is almost dead, but we have a magic potion. A wizard has a life bringer spell, and the elf has a healing potion. So I think we're good. So again, could have gone worse. But I would say it was fair. We had just enough encounters. It worked out. It could have gone sideways very quick, but no, it worked out. So I think that's it for now. I understand there were things I missed. There always is. I try to do my best, and getting better each time I play this by way of remembering certain things. So, all right, guys, I cut you loose, and stay tuned for possible next video. Oh, we'll see.